Okay guys, we're back with the CB500. I've got a little issue I need to sort out. As with all old bikes, periodically you will get little problems here or there. Today we're going to quickly look at the switchgear that controls the lights and indicators. I can't really show you the problem at the moment because it's working okay. If I turn the ignition on, what I'm getting is when I try and indicate left, put the indicator on, under current temperatures, absolutely fine, but you get out on the streets at night time when it's about 1 or 2 degrees and you click the indicator on and it just cancels itself, which it should obviously, as you know as a biker, only do when you just depress the switch again. So there's going to be a dirty contact in there or a sticky switch of some sort, or a bad connection, so I just need to open it up, have a look at it and give it a bit of a clean. But I'm not really going to know if it's fixed the problem until I get back out on the streets tonight and operate the indicators and see if they're working. So we're just going to have a little look at this and give it a bit of a clean. They're both different lengths, so just try and remember which order you took them out in. It's longer on the left. Okay guys, a little bit of light on the subject. So this is the switch gear, and just to demonstrate, if you press the button in for the indicators, you can see that white plastic there. That's what moves across to the left or to the right to make the contact. So if I was to move it to the left, you can see the plastic moves over to the right, that white bit of plastic. That should make the left indicator switch contact. But clearly what's happening is holding the button on keeps the indicators on, but as soon as I let go, I guess the contact's not quite clean enough or solid enough to keep those indicators on, and you have to kind of hold it, and then after a few attempts it stays on. It's not being returned under spring pressure, it's being returned by pushing the button in, as you can see, and it just moves it back out of place again. So it just means that switch is either dirty or worn, or both, one or the other, or both, and it just needs cleaning up, and hopefully that'll sort it. And if it doesn't sort it, then it will mean I'll just need to replace this. But for the moment, all I can really do is take it apart and give it a bit of a clean, put it back on and see if that fixes the problem. And if it does, happy days. But if not, then I'll have to buy a second-hand switchgear off eBay, because I'm not going to buy a new one from Honda. It'd be too expensive. Anyway, let's get that apart, shall we? Let's just take the switch out. Let's try and keep things in the order that they came out in. Makes sense, doesn't it? Let's lift that one out. As always, don't know how much of this you can see or can't see. Right, so just manually operating the switch now, you can see that would be putting the left indicator on. There's no hesitation there after that clean. That would be putting the right indicator on. I know I'm moving the switch left, but that's as a result of pushing the lever right. And it seems fine, so I'm just going to I think that possibly was just a bit of stickiness. I had to get this out with pliers and I'm trying to pop it back in with my fingers. That doesn't really help, does it? When it came out, it will go in. They make it easy, do they? There you go. It's just a plate that holds the switch, so I don't think it's a major disaster if it's not quite in the right way. It's just a base for that switch to slide on. Pretty sure it goes that way because it hasn't got rotational symmetry in any direction by the looks, so I think these are brass screws, they're not magnetic. Well, the last piece, I just need to pop the switch into that hole there. So here's the switch itself, and we've got the washer, which goes on top with the screw through. And then you've just got this little spacer plate which slips in. And just make sure they're pushed together properly. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a bit of grease in here, and that will keep all of it together for when I just drop this down into the switch to try and find a little screw hole to stop it falling apart, and also to keep it moving freely and preventing all the steel bits from rusting up. Most of this is brass anyway, but it's, like I said, it'll just stop the steel bits. Everything's in pretty good lick, to be absolutely fair. There you go. Now that should just hold it together nicely. Is the bit where we have to faff around. Getting the switch together. Difficulty lies when everything's fouling on each other. Sort of imagine, well, it came apart, but then I kind of pulled it apart. It's difficult to press it back. I think that's all it is. It's just basically forcing it together. Not going to do any harm by the looks of it. So there you go. There you go. Right. Never in the same position though, is it? When it's an item that will twist around. Right. So what I'm going to do is get the screws. Don't over tighten these. Right. All back on. So, ignition on. Actually, do you know what? That is much more positive. As I said earlier, it's an intermittent problem. It's doing the issue when it's really cold, but even when I showed you earlier, there was that initial hesitation before it worked, and that is very straight on, no arguments. So what we'll do, we'll get the bike out on the road a little later when it's a little colder, and I'll report back and let you know if there's any further issues.